The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. It might take her a hot second to get to the point.
The journey is usually the part that you remember anyways.
But it'll be worth it. It's News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
Wally and Gavin, if I were to ask you what is the best age, or is there even a good age, to let a child have a phone, what would you say?
We went through this with my daughter, and it wasn't until she was in middle school that she got a phone. But, man, I'll tell you, I would say 16. And I know that's hard because they all my friends have one. And it's like, yeah, but this is damaging you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how old I was, 16. And it was a flip phone. I'm grateful that I didn't have a touch phone with social media. Because social media, I'd wait even longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, 16's good.
Well, you actually agree with science, but they even say they're saying the bare minimum age you should give a child a phone is 13. But that's the bare minimum. But they're saying it should go as high as 16, like y'all are saying. And the main reason is because, like you were talking about, it has to deal with if your kid has a phone before 13 years of age, they tend to show more depression, aggression, and emotionally unstableness by their mid-20s. And so you're like, well, where does this come from? Well, of course, we know that, with a phone, they are able to get in touch with their friends. They're also able to get on social media. It turns out it's 3 reasons. And yes, this is pertaining to kids, but I think it can also pertain to adults as well. The top 3 reasons why depression, aggression, and emotionally unstableness show up are due to poor sleep, because you're on your phone, you're scrolling.
Got it.
Another one is cyberbullying.
Yeah.
You can't get away from people. Like you were saying, Wally, back when you were in school, you could leave it at school and not take it home with you. But now if your kid has a phone, those cyberbullies never leave them. And then finally, poor family relationships. If you're always on your phone, you're not having that relationship. They're not having a relationship with their parent. And so but all 3 of these things are good to keep in mind, not only as a kid, but as an adult as well.
Every one of those things makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. There is that pressure as a parent, and your kid's like, but my dad, please, they're doing this. I think the best solution in that situation is because as your kids get older, you do need to get a hold of them more. And they're at practices and things like this, and plans change. Mm-hmm. I think giving them dumb phones is the way to do that. You go, look, yeah, we do need to get a hold of each other, and we can call, and that's fine. And if you want to call your friend, you can. You're not texting, and you're not going online. But if you need to interact with people, that's fine.
Do they make those? Do they make phones where it's just available for calls, no social media, no texting?
Yeah, they're the ones you buy for your elderly parents. Oh. It's basically elderly parents and kids get the same phone now, and you'll be fine. Uplifting WayFM, this is The Wally Show, and there's a lady I started to follow on TikTok because she's deaf and would teach a sign of the day. And I've always been fascinated by sign language, so I wanted to learn some. And I really liked this lady, but then as I followed her, I found out that she's deaf because she had brain tumors and surgeries, and her life has been anything but easy. But she's a believer as well. And so this was the first time I had heard her talking in depth about that. She was going to Jerusalem, and she was at the actual pool where Jesus healed the man that could not walk. And while it was powerful, it also raised a very big question for her.
A part of me was like, why can't you heal me too? Am I not enough? Do you not love me enough? But for me, faith doesn't mean having all the answers. It's holding on to hope when nothing else makes sense.
Why can't you heal me too?
Ooh.
Total fair question.
Yes.
You did it then. You're the God, same God yesterday, today, and forever. Why not me? I think we go through a lot of things in that moment. And she then kind of broke down. She's like, you know what? And while I was frustrated in that, I did have to look back and see all the miracles that have been taking place in my life. Are things perfect? Is my life perfect? No. But That's why we have faith, you know. And it was really powerful. And so the conversation I want to have out of this is, what was your why not me moment where you realized, okay, this isn't going to change and I don't know why, you know, but how did you find purpose in that pain? She has a platform now and she's seen by millions of people that this started for her the ability to then share her faith on a really deep level with people as somebody who's experienced difficulty but can still say God is good.
Right. And I think we've all been in those situations or currently in those situations where it's like we try and make sense of it in our own heads. Like, God, if you're the God that can do anything, so why not me? Have I sinned too much? Am I just not good enough? Are you not hearing me? It's all those things where we're trying to make sense of it. But I love that she's taking a healthy route to it and instead looking at all the blessings that he has put in front of her instead. Yeah.
So why not me? What was that moment that you then realized on the other side of that God had a purpose in this pain? You found that purpose. So 855-33-WAY-FM. Why do we do this? Well, because in this conversation, your inspiration and your take on this might be the exact thing that somebody who's stuck in the why not me and can't get past it yet needs to hear. So 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. So, Christian, for you, how did you get past that why not me moment and find the purpose in your pain?
I was adopted. I've always wondered about, why, and I feel like that, there's a reason for my life for being here every day, and I don't understand all of it, but I've always had these questions ever since I was a kid.
I'm fascinated by the mentality of kids that are adopted because some kids go through like trauma. We have friends that have kids that were adopted from China. They have night terrors and all this stuff. And they were adopted like at 1 year old. Like, so what went on? Like, how is your brain cognizant of that? Or did you ever feel like, oh, I was abandoned? Did you have that kind of a feeling when you were a kid?
Yes, sir. It's always been that way. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wondered. But I don't really know my story because nobody will tell me. I've been blessed and grateful for what I've got. My parents that adopted me were loved me enough to keep me around and help me out.
And that's what this lady was talking about. Like, her life isn't perfect, but she's thankful for the provision and the blessing. She's cognizant and intentional in seeing the blessings. Like you saying, look, I didn't have my biological mom and dad, but I have a mom and dad that chose me and loved me, and that's a win. So when you hear that, TG, have you ever had your why not me moment, but then seen God's provision in the pain?
Absolutely. My husband worked for a very wonderful company, Sam's Club Home Office in Arkansas. And we had the opportunity to move here during COVID to Kentucky to be with our grandbabies. And they were fine until 2023 and decided that everyone had to come back to the office in Arkansas or you lose your job. And we had to make that hard decision of, okay, Lord, we trust you. We're faithful in our tithes. We're faithful in our commitments. So we knew he would take care of us. And so we lost our job. It was a 6-figure job. That was hard, but we didn't get any jobs. Jeff put resume after resume after resume in, and every one of them was a no. And it was that moment that I said, God, why us? We've been so faithful to you. Why? Why are we not getting a job? And he just now, in 2025, has gotten a job. Now, 2 years later.
Oh, wow. That's hard. I've been out of work before for a long time like that because it's a weird thing. My mouth gets me in trouble sometimes. And sometimes jobs leave me. And I know that fear. I know that pain. I know that. But then I also know the joy of when it does come back together. It feels amazing.
It does. And during that 2 years, God was so faithful to us. Every single time we had a need, he filled it.
I saw the same thing. Like, it was never excess, but it was always enough, And that was a hard thing. I think that was a lesson I had to learn, to trust him in the moments where I had no control. That's when you learn this stuff. I'm glad that you guys are on the other side of it now because, being in the moment isn't great. But when you look back and you are conscious to see where his hand was on your life, it's pretty amazing. You don't always see it in the moment, though.
And he's such a faithful God.
Up Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and I am back now. A month removed from my daughter's wedding, still feeling some of the pain of losing her, and financially.
Which one is worse?
Financially, I can still FaceTime her. But like we were talking last night, actually, and she was still kind of. Glowing about her wedding, and it went
as
really
she
well.
should.
Yeah, and like I had written her a song for a daddy-daughter dance, and I wanted to capture that moment. But then I wrote another song that I wanted to capture the moment that I'm feeling now, post-wedding.
Yeah,
and kind of going into that. And why girls are so expensive, apparently. And so she was born in '98. So I wanted to do this with a 90s boy band feel.
I love that.
Yeah, and so this is the song that I wrote for my daughter post-wedding called "'Cause I Had a Girl." Little One Direction.
Years have flown by. I'm staring at my world. She's getting older. Where's my little girl? Her heart is so full, unlike my bank account. The wedding drained me. Don't know the full amount. Feels like
Girls is so stinking expensive, man.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to give that song to Danny Ray one day for you.
He already gave up all that money. He's spending it on himself. He's like, if it ain't happened by now, it ain't happening at all. Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
So, should we do hard news or news-ish?
We're all in this together. I think the best thing to do is take a breath, relax, and vote on it.
News-ish it is on The Wally Show.
I actually have a couple of consumer things for you today. One is super important if you're living that bougie life with an above-ground pool. Millions of above-ground pools that were sold like at major retailers are being recalled because of deaths of children. It's like super serious. I know, that's what I thought. I'm like, how is that an issue? Well, apparently, above ground pools have like these poles on the outside that kind of hold it all together.
Yes.
And they have a strap that goes around them. And so they're finding that kids use that strap as a way to pull themselves up and over and into the pool.
Oh.
And so they're recalling them to do something about that strap that's there for structure, but it's caused, I think, 9 deaths, which is crazy.
9 deaths too many.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible.
That's the hardest thing about stuff like that. You buy something and you're like, oh, this will be fun for our family, and then it ends up altering your family forever. And so they are making steps to make it safer, but the reality is, if you have a pool, there is no substitute for not watching your kid, like, because that's how you keep something from being tragic. Like when we lived in a house in Florida, it came with a pool. And the first thing we did was put one of those gates around the entire pool because my daughter was 3 years old. And I could not have bared walking out to the pool and seeing her in it.
Right.
We did swimming class for the survival swimming. Horrible, but great. Like she's under 3 years old when she did it. And they put them in the pool and like...
I couldn't watch.
It was so hard taking her because when she's yelling, "Daddy, help me!"
Oh
and you
my
can't.
gosh, no!
I know, like, oh my gosh! And then they put a shirt over their face, like to simulate their clothing, and they've got to get it off and reach for this. I mean, I cannot recommend that enough if you have a pool. But anyway, so they are making some of the recalls. So if you have one of those pools and you never even thought about it before, it's worth looking out and like getting the recall and getting that piece fixed. From life-saving to money-saving, Target has announced that they will no longer price match the items that they sell with retailers like Walmart. Did you even know you could price match at Target?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, well, guess it doesn't affect you. No. But like if you had bought something at Target, found it at Walmart online or whatever cheaper, they would match that price.
Okay.
But they're no longer going to do that because they lost $1 billion last quarter.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and so, so they're not going to do that. Now they will. The good news in this is, if you buy something at Target and then it goes on sale, you can then price match and get the lower price for something you bought, I think, within 30 days or something like that. So they are still going to do that. But yeah, so I don't, like, they're blaming all these other things. I think Target shot themselves in the foot. They got like super woke and people were like, I don't want part of this.
Maybe so.
And maybe that's a sign. I mean, we vote for things and stuff like that, but you also vote with your dollar. And what you choose and who you choose to spend money with or not, it does have an effect on them in the bottom line. And so there you go. That's going to do it for your news for this hour. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. We're going to do a little game here. You have a chance to win a prize. Game is called Either, Neither, Both. Each of us will take turns asking questions of the other two members of the show. And you're going to have to guess if the question is true for either, meaning one or the other, neither, meaning obviously neither of them, or both, so both of them. Here would be an example, okay? So if I was going to ask the question, have either, neither, both of you ever tipped more than 50%? And so if I'm playing the game, I'm going to say neither have tipped over 50% because I know Betty Rock has a big bent on tipping, especially when it doesn't feel warranted. And I don't know that she aggressively tips. And Gavin, I think, watches his money like pretty closely. And so I'm going to say that his max 28% tip.
28.
Betty, max 12%.
Yes.
Look at her just smile because she knows it's true.
Yeah.
All right. So, Betty Rock, have you ever tipped over 50%?
Yes, I have.
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
Is that a halo over your head?
Thank you, Gavin, for noticing. Yes, I was recently at a Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
And getting my black tea with peach.
Okay.
And they're always so kind.
Yes.
They're always so good. And I just had a $20 bill that my dad had given me for gas money. And I was like, I'm good. And I put it in their tip jar.
Wow, because your drink was probably $7? Maybe?
$5.
Yeah. So you tipped $15 on that?
I tipped 20. Yeah.
That's like
because I paid for the drink on my app and then I gave the extra $20. Yeah.
That is a huge tip, making it rain.
You're welcome.
I have to tell you, I am flabbergasted.
I think I deserve an apology.
As you always say, my flabber was gasted. Absolutely. Okay, I would be wrong there because Betty Rock broke that both question. Gavin, have you ever tipped over 50%?
Yeah, we were at Chewy's, a restaurant near us recently, and just for dessert. And the Tres Leches cake, probably $10.
Yeah.
We tipped $10 because we took up an entire table. It was a little later, so it wasn't busy, but someone had to serve us, bring us water. And, you know, they for them, that might have just been a quick little $10 to brighten their night.
I find that, like, when I have a gift card especially, I really over-tip because I feel like I'm getting the meal for free. And so then I'll go ahead and, like, tip really well on that as well. So look at that. You guys, standing ovation. You're amazing. All right, and so that's the way we play it. If you'd like to play right now, based on what you know of the members of the show, you could win a prize with either, neither, both. Here's the number, 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM if you want to play right now. Uplifting Way-FM, this is The Wally Show. Mary, welcome to Either, Neither, Both. Now, the way it works is we're going to take turns asking each other questions, and you have to determine if the question is true for either of the people being asked, neither of them, or both of them. Are you ready to play?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Gavin, let's start with your question for Betty Rock and myself.
Okay, have either, neither, or both of you fainted? And I mean, like, lost consciousness. Fainted.
Okay, there you go. So what do you think there, Mary? Have either one of us done that, neither of us done that, or both of us?
Either.
Either.
Ooh.
So one of us has
Who
fainted.
do you think has?
Wally.
I knew she was going to say me. All right, let's start with Betty. Betty, have you ever fainted?
Actually, I have.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, when you gave blood.
Yes, I gave blood, and they told me, they said, you need to eat this cookie and drink this juice, but I had to walk to the cookie and juice table to get it, and between that, I fainted. I mean, first,
oh my goodness.
I didn't know what happened. I just woke up laying on the floor.
Yeah. I would love to help you win this question, but I cannot. I have fainted multiple times in my life.
Why?
Yeah, one time I cut my leg when I was younger and I fainted. Like, I split my leg open. One time during the 3-day breast cancer walk, I had gotten dehydrated and I fainted.
Walking.
Yeah, but I hurt myself. I fainted when I was redoing my deck. I faint a lot, actually.
You know what?
Out.
And I was with you one time and you almost fainted over in Africa because you didn't drink any water.
Yep.
We're finding the common denominator.
Well, unfortunately, no point there, but you're still in this here. Betty Rock, your question for Gavin and me.
Okay, here we go, Mary. Have either, neither, both of you, Wally or Gavin, ever fallen asleep in the middle of a church service?
Ooh. That's easy. What do you think, Mary?
Both.
Both? Okay. Let's start with the better Christian, me. No, I have, 100% I have. My wife has nudged me. But in fairness, I fall asleep in movies, too. So it's not like I just don't like the Lord.
Did you get to the point where you were snoring?
I've woken myself up with like a like that. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so embarrassing.
Yeah.
What about Gavin?
I definitely have. But it only ever happened in the early stages when my son was born, when you're just going through the chaos of waking up every 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, and
I snoozed.
In fairness, I've been to your church where Nick preaches. I get it.
Oh, my word.
Come on now.
No, the funny thing is you can't fall asleep with Nick because Nick is like rapid fire, man. He's fast.
He's like audio caffeine.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Final question for Betty and Gavin. You need to get this right. Have either, neither, both of you not made it to a bathroom? Either, neither, both of you not made it to a bathroom?
Excluding like when we were not potty trained?
Yes, as adults. Let's put
Okay.
it that way. Okay, so what do you think, Mary?
Either.
Either. So
Who do
one of
you
them
think, though? Who do you think, Mary?
Don't answer.
I'm not going to answer it.
But we all know what you're thinking, and it's
Okay,
Gavin.
let's start with the tougher one here. Betty Rock, have you ever not made it to a bathroom?
No, I am a grown adult. I can control my bladder.
Okay, Gavin. So her fate rests with you. Have you not made it to the bathroom as an adult?
I'm only doing this so she can get a point and
Sure.
win
Sure,
a prize.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I've not made it before.
How many times have you not made
That's
it?
all I'm going to say. No more details.
Multiple times.
Gavin, I totally sympathize with you.
Thank you.
I'm an adult.
But you've probably had multiple kids, Mary, and I know
I
that.
have a kid.
Yeah,
but you did not have that kid. There's something that happens biologically, physically for women. Well, Gavin's lack of control means the win for you today, Mary. So congratulations, you're a winner.
Thank you. Woohoo!
Whose dish is on the chopping block?
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Gonna do a little Chopped here. We have sadly run out of time in the hour to play all the songs that we have picked, and so we gotta make a tough choice here, okay? And you're gonna help us make it, because we love all these songs. They're like our children, and we can't pick one.
Yeah, you can't have a favorite.
And especially, too, like these artists, like we know them personally, and the last thing I need is like Lauren Daigle giving me a hard time about chopping her song. I don't need that. You know, a finger in my face, wagging it at me.
So you would rather put the blame on someone else?
Absolutely. And that's where you come in. You are our scapegoat. We could call it Chopped or Scapegoat. So you're going to pick between one of two songs that are on the chopping block, and you tell us which song you want to keep, but more importantly, why you want to keep it. What does the song mean to you? How does it resonate with you? That kind of stuff. I want you to have a reason for it so that we can justify it when we call them and say, hey, this is what just happened. Amber chopped your song, but it's okay. We'll be fine. So with that said, Mr. Gavin, what are the two songs that are up on the chopping block?
Well, you said Lauren Daigle. The other artist is, the first song is Phil Wickham's This Is Our God.
This is our God, this is who he is. He loves us. This is our God, this is what he does. He saves us.
As far as worship songs go, this is a bop. It's a bop worship song.
It's a classic.
I like it.
Definitely good.
I'm a huge Phil Wickham fan,
Me
and
too.
I called him early, too. I'm like, this guy is going to be phenomenal. And, like, he's actually the guy that's kind of coming up in the world. Like, no one could have seen Brandon Lake. That's just a phenomenal, like, a phenomenon. But, like, Phil coming up is kind of like, I think, the next generation's Chris Tomlin is kind of how I feel about
Watch out,
Phil.
Chris.
I know. He's coming for you, Chris. And so what is the second song, Gavin?
It is Lauren Daigle's First.
Oh, okay. So it's this song here. All right, so these are the two songs, and you have a decision to make. All you have to do is call 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM, and tell us which of those two songs, This Is Our God by Phil Wickham or First by Lauren Daigle, you want to keep. Because we can't keep them both. We have to let one of them go.
Tough call.
I know.
Because both of these artists can do no wrong.
Burning Building, we can only save one of them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what do we do? So 855-33-WAY-FM. Thank you for taking the hit on this, too, so that we don't have to be blamed by either of them. You tell us which one you want to save and why. 855-33-WAY-FM. Wanda, which of these two songs are you going to chop, and which one are you keeping?
Lauren Daigle, I'm keeping.
Whoa, very emphatically. That means Phil Wickham is getting chopped. The man I said is the next Chris Tomlin. Wanda's like, yeah, don't care, out. So why are you keeping Lauren Daigle?
I'm sorry, but that song is so moving to me. First, we got to give God first, and you know that. I love you, Phil Wickham, but I'm sorry, Lauren Daigle has to take this one.
Ooh.
All right, well, you have proclaimed it, and you are right. It is a good reminder to keep God first all the time in our lives. First. So here we go. We'll let Lauren do it because she does do it slightly better than me. It's Lauren Daigle First, the song Not Chopped by Wanda on The Wally Show on Way FM.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Before I bring my need, I will bring my heart. Before I lift my cares, I will lift my arms.
Let's not overthink this.
Don't think too hard about it.
It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
A few years ago, if you went to buy a plane ticket, you would see the bright light that was Southwest, and that included 2 free bags, which is gone.
Smiling
now.
people helping you get on the plane.
The possibility of getting a seat that was closer to the front of the plane. I will say though, I was never quick on the draw. Like I always ended up being closer to the back. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you got to the second hand hits that thing when you're checking in, you got to check in. But then Betty Rock lives a charmed life. Like I sit there at 5 a.m, I got my flight, and I'm like, ding, and I click it, and like the minute it turns, and I'm like B45. Betty's like, yo, the weirdest thing happened to me, y'all. I didn't sign up till like an hour before getting on the flight. I'm A3. I'm like, how is that possible?
Well, the Lord's favor.
That's the only explanation, because Southwest don't love you anymore.
Well, as of officially of January of 2026, next year, the Lord's favor in essence leaves Betty, because they are transitioning to paying for assigned seats.
See, this is the thing. And then because they're like, hey, we're rolling out assigned seating. Well, yeah, you're going to charge people for it. And so you're like every other airline now. Your competitive advantage before was who you were at your core. You've lost your competitive advantage. Now you're charging people for bags and a lot of money. You could have charged $20 for a bag if you had to, but you chose to go 35. You chose violence. And then
amen.
And then you're going to make all these seat tiers and all these add-ons where once again it's just designed to nickel and dime your customer to death. So now
nickel and dime.
That's right. So now I will not choose to fly you like I used
won't
to.
Choose you.
I will not. I will fly the absolute cheapest, with the exception of Spirit and Frontier.
Absolute cheapest.
Thank you. I love having a hype man.
You mentioned seat tiers. They're going to have 8 boarding groups apparently, which sounds like it'll take a while.
That's nuts.
That's a lot of steps, and that includes
the last group to get on will be called the peasant group.
Yeah, like I've flown, I think United or one of them has 6 groups. And so and they tell you when they're boarding you, they're like, yeah, if you're in group 5 or so, you just bring your bag up now because you're not getting your bag on the plane.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, that doesn't help me. Why? I brought a carry-on for a reason. And so now 8 groups. Well, way to go, Southwest.
And you mentioned the money grabbing. They're expected to make $800 million extra this year.
I'm so glad.
And then next year, boom, $1.7 billion.
Oh, see, you didn't tell me that. They're going to make more money. I'm so happy. Way to go, Southwest. You guys do it. I love that you do it, lady. I love that you are going to make more money this year. Wouldn't we all like to do that? I'm going to start charging bag fees to the ministry for bringing my laptop in every day.
I mean,
it's not a bad idea, actually. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and Betty Rock accuses me of being hard to shop for because my hobbies tend to run into the more extravagant.
Right, like you like doing woodworking, which people I think would be surprised at how expensive that hobby is.
Yeah.
You also like flying drones.
Yeah.
Well, that's expensive.
Yeah.
You like playing guitars. Well, guitars are expensive. It's just difficult to help you.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to find a hobby that I could enjoy, because I get kind of bored sometimes too, and I'm trying to find a hobby that I could enjoy that's not super expensive. Like I used to race cars with my buddy Greg, who had 2 race cars, and that's a really expensive hobby. But super expensive.
But not bad for you because he had an extra.
Yeah, but that's still it costs a lot when you go to the track for the weekend and what you have to pay and everything. And so I thought, I'll do go-karting. So I still get the fun of racing, but then when you get into go-karting, you're thousands of dollars in go-karts and every year. So I'm looking for something that's not super, super expensive, like maybe rock collecting. So maybe something like that. I could go out and go, oh, that's a nice rock. Hey, look at that.
I cannot see you doing that at all. What about knitting?
Oh, no, I can't knit. I tried to teach my wife. My wife wanted to learn how, so she said, will you learn how? Because I have to show her things. She doesn't like to learn stuff. I do. And so I couldn't do it. I couldn't do pottery either. I tried pottery. I can turn stuff. I can make things out of wood, but the clay left me. Bird watching I considered because I had that one bird cam for my wife.
That's right, you did.
I admit it did make me happy, but I can't see walking out into the woods wearing gray old people action adventure clothing and with binoculars and being like, ooh, look, there's a red-headed warbler. That's exciting.
It's like Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I can't do that at all.
I don't know. So is there a hobby you got into that's not super expensive but still has to be fun? Like, rock collecting doesn't seem fun to me. Unless I'm collecting meteorites or something. Maybe metal detecting.
Now, listen, I think that there's a hobby that I don't know how expensive it would be, but I think you and I both would enjoy it. I think Gavin would enjoy it, too. I don't know what it's called, but it's when you put one of those magnets in the water.
Magnet fishing.
Yes. I think that would be so fun. I have watched Instagram videos of people finding swords and buttons.
That is a great idea. It's all fun and games so you can't come across a body. But it's until then it's a great that's a great idea.
Yeah.
They're really super powerful magnets, so I'm sure they're kind of expensive.
But heavy.
Maybe we should look into that. Okay, that's one. We got one down. So now we're gonna add yours to the list. Magnet fishing. That is great, Rock. All right, so I love where you're going with this. All right, so what is another hobby that you've taken up that isn't super, super pricey but fun? 855-33-WAY-FM. And maybe we could do that and then go magnet fishing. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your suggestions now. We'll add it to the list. What would you suggest, Autumn?
Okay, I think you should try geocaching.
Okay, now I've heard of this. Walk me through it.
All right, so it's basically a scavenger hunt where you look for Tupperware in the woods.
She's right.
It doesn't sound like anyone goes missing doing this at all.
No, it can be fun. I totally agree with you, Autumn. I've tried it before.
Have you?
Yeah, and
You can't find your way to the Starbucks.
No, and let me tell you right now, I've maybe found 1 out of 8.
Really?
It can be difficult. But then usually inside the little Tupperware or glass or whatever that you find, there's a little piece of paper and you sign your name and the date of when you found it, and then you put it back where you found it.
That could be a fun afternoon outing for the show, too, because we monthly we go to a movie. Mm-hmm. What if we went geocaching and magnet fishing all in the same day?
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay.
I know. Yeah, your head would explode. She's like, that's a lot of time with you, Wally.
Yes.
So, Sandy, what is an inexpensive hobby, but it still has to be fun? What do you got?
You need to take up cooking, take cooking lessons, and get aprons with your name on them and cook romantic dinners for your wife.
I do like this idea. I've tried to get my wife to do a cooking class with me, but she's real picky. She's like, I wouldn't like the food, that we would make. I'm like, it's not about that. It's about actually learning something.
Well, she might like a kid's
That's a great idea.
Cooking thing.
Like gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah, I think this is great. And especially, too, if you do it in a class, it costs you a little bit less, I think, because, if you're going to make one meal and you don't have coriander or something like that, then you got to go buy that, and then you got to buy all the ingredients.
There's a cooking class nearby that does French, and they have couples classes. And there's usually about 8 or 10 couples in a class, and you have a nice sit-down dinner with just beautiful cutlery and beautiful napkins and linens, and you share, and then afterward you take the recipes home and you can sign up for the next class and find out what it's about.
See, I do like that because we did a cooking class in Ireland when we were there for my daughter's wedding, and we made scones, and I loved it. It was so much fun. And again, you take that knowledge with you, you can learn to cook, and that's something we do every day is we make dinner and lunch, we eat, So I love it. We're going to put it on the list. That is a great idea, Sandy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
I'm an observer. I notice things. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM, and especially about music, because I really still love music, and I like myself some Forrest Frank. You got him right here.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say.
Guy blew up on TikTok, and now Christian radio stations playing him all over the country. We play him a lot, love him. And he's had an influence, I feel, in this industry kind of out of nowhere, because I noticed that a guy that's been in the industry for a little bit almost started to sound a little bit like Forrest Frank. Mm-hmm. See if you notice it too. And I'm talking about Phil Wickham. And I love me some Phil Wickham, one of the best worship guys we have. But it feels a little Forrest Franky here.
God is great, give him all the praise. Hallelujah, name above all names. Fire in his eyes.
Kind of that lazy vocal a little bit. Kind
of a chill beat underneath.
Yeah. And so I started thinking, could these two form a super group? Could they do stuff together? So I took Phil Wickham's song and I took Forrest Frank's song and I made a Phil Frank song, okay? So this is Forrest Frank and Phil Wickham doing a version of Good Day together. Tell me what you think.
Okay. God is great, give him all the praise. Hallelujah, name above all names. Fire in his eyes, healing in his veins. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day in every single way. Take a look at those stars, you can name them all. Before his throne, every knee falls. So it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood. Living in the present, not what I shoulda or coulda. Friday on the cross, broken from my shame. Sunday morning, rose up from the grave. Take a look at those scars on his hands and feet. He saved our souls for eternity. I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say.
I mean, you hear it now, right?
I do. I hear it.
Yeah.
I wonder if we had Phil Wickham here and we asked him.
Yeah.
Would he admit it or no?
Yeah, like would he hear it himself? Because I think you get influenced by things just inadvertently.
Yeah. I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody's stealing anybody's stuff, but I just noticed that those two things sound very similarly, and then when you put them together, you're like,
right.
wow.
And what did you call them together?
Phil Frank. That's the new artist, Phil Frank. We're playing.
Okay, I would have done like Phil the Forrest.
Phil Forrest. Okay, that's good. That's a new super group.
Yeah.
These two guys should tour together.
Totally.
And then they should come out and do one song together at the end. I think that would be like super, super powerful. So if you like it, that's our new artist, Phil Frank, here on Way FM.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
I think we all have a different idea of what it looks like for the perfect couple or the perfect friendship, especially in real life. But let's move that from real life to animation.
Okay.
If I were to ask you, what is the best animated relationship? Who would you say?
That's hard because a lot of animation is like satire or over the top. Like you couldn't say Homer and Marge, even though he loves her. That's very dysfunctional.
Well, I will tell you this. I will tell you what's the most popular and see if you agree, okay?
Okay.
So the top 3 most popular best animated relationships, according to the population of the world. Coming in at number 3, one of the best friendships, I will agree with it. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Yeah, okay.
I love Scooby-Doo. I'm a big fan.
They are a little codependent, though.
Yeah, but they're also like, they eat all the food. They make sandwiches for one another. They fight crime together.
They make bad life choices,
well,
though.
Well, that's true, too. But
Yeah.
you know what? They're in it together, and I think it's precious. Coming in at number 2 is George and Jane Jetson from the Jetsons.
George Jetson.
I know, there's no way that you guys really watched this show. Gavin, for sure. Did you watch this, Betty Lou?
I did, thanks to my dad.
Okay, yeah, because
my dad watched it, and so I would with him. Yeah, but it was popular back in the 60s.
Yeah, 60s, 70s. Like, I liked it as a kid. I watched it because it was like the world of the future. Like, you'd push a button and all of a sudden food was just made, out of nothing.
And they had a robot maid,
yeah,
which was nice.
Yeah, and the dog Astro that sounded a lot like Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh.
And then finally, coming in at number 1, I don't know, Fred and Wilma Flintstone.
Yeah.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family.
Let me explain the Flintstones for a hot second. Yes. Are they a little dysfunctional in their relationship? Sure. But aren't we all?
Right.
Like, he is a blowhard that overreacts, loses his mind sometimes, has crazy ideas and adventures, but he really does, at the core, love his wife, who is grounding, sometimes fun-killing, but is grounding of him.
Why does this sound so vaguely familiar with your own personal life?
Oh, 100%. This is my life.
Yabba-dabba-doo!
I know. Yeah, that is me. But I just realized that my wife and I are the Flintstones. Gavin and I actually go to the same church, different campuses, and we've been going through the life of Paul. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. And I think it's a great study because Paul's a very interesting guy. He goes from persecuting the church. I mean, like, he was putting people to death, and he even copped to it. Did that surprise you? Like, I didn't realize in the Bible, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I put people to death.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
I think that in some ways, admitting to your flaws allows you to move past them way quicker than trying to hope they don't notice.
Well, it also shows, I think he's trying to show the big change that Jesus made in him. Like, I was this, now I am this, and that's a big deal. And he went all in, like Betty always is baffled by me telling people that I just meet all the bad things I've done. She's like, why do you do that? Like, just like Paul. I'm kind of like Paul.
No,
so that when you see the good,
don't even compare yourself to
similar.
Apostle Paul.
Similar in our approach.
Absolutely not.
So then you're like, oh, so you're not as bad as you used to be. This is pretty great. So he meets Jesus on the road to Damascus. He gets blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light.
And so he's blind for like 3 days. And he has this conversion, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? So he has a encounter with a living God, and it changed him like that. He was a different man. But what's interesting is it took 7 years or so before he really got into the ministry because people didn't trust him. Like, oh, here's that Paul guy.
And
Saul.
who can blame him?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You remember what he did to Ray? And so you're like, yeah, I do. I don't know but he says he's a believer now. He had that white light moment that then changed the course of his life. We talk about a white light moment. That's it, And so I'm curious for you, what was your Damascus moment? What was that turning point where you came face to face, not literally, but face to face with the living Jesus in your life that changed you? Because I know there are some people that listen that don't even believe all of this stuff, and I get it, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But sometimes when you hear somebody else's story, it inspires you to go a little deeper, to seek this God that has made a radical change in somebody's life. And so that's what we want to talk about with you. What was your Damascus moment? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'd love to hear your story. What was your Damascus moment?
Well, I didn't have a bright light because it would have waken up my newborn, but I had a baby girl, 38 now, but she was born with a very rare birth defect, and everyone in my life kept telling me that God was going to heal her, and that was really hard to hear because she was so badly physically damaged, and I really was at a loss for what I was going to do. I was feeling all the guilt with being a new mom, and I should have been able to prevent this, but I was nursing her. She was about 8 days old, and I was sitting nursing her, and the Lord very clearly appeared to me and said, I will not heal her, but I will be glorified through what she has had to endure as a baby and for the rest of her life. And he changed my faith instantly. I've got a faith made out of bricks. But all the things the doctors told us she would never do, she does do. And she's a mother of 7. And it's absolutely amazing. She uses what God's done for her to teach her children about his faith.
See, that's the thing. I know people mean, well, God's going to heal your child. And I know some people really believe that. But that's not always the case. It's not always the story that's supposed to be written. And I think that's hard to tell somebody or dangerous to tell somebody. But I love that you got that moment with God where it's like, look, I'm not going to heal her, but that doesn't mean this is over. I'm going to be glorified through her and amazing things are going to happen. That right there is probably where 90% of us live. There is that 10% that's the miracle and the amazing story of God's intervention, but I think most of us live in that other place. And so I really do appreciate you sharing your story, because I think that will land and resonate with somebody today.
I hope so, because God is good no matter what. He's always good and faithful.
So what's your story?
Okay, so in 2005, my wife was diagnosed with cervical cancer. And she went in and she had one procedure done, and it was still there. So she went in and had a second procedure done, more aggressive, and it was still there. And they gave her 6 months to a year to live.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, man. So I was watching my wife get weaker and weaker, more frail and more frail, and I didn't know when I kissed her goodnight if I was going to wake up next to a dead woman. So I came home from work one day, and she said that there was a new healing pastor in town and that we needed to go. I was not Christian at the time. I said, okay, whatever's going to work.
Yeah, was that weird too? Even though you love your wife, you're like, okay, seriously? This is getting odd.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, I was desperate too. I was like, whatever's going to work. And I really knew nothing about Christianity at the time. I was into New Age stuff, and it was just crazy. Anyway, we go to this church. The pastor calls for anybody that needs a healing. She walked up to down the aisle. He walked up to her, looked her in the eyes, and said, "You have a cancer." And he laid hands on her, and she came up, backed up to the pew, and shaking like a leaf, tears rolling out her eyes, and she said, "I'm healed, and I know it."
Wow.
2 weeks later, we went back to the doctor, and they couldn't find any cancer.
Man, like, that's crazy, because I'll be the first to be a little skeptical sometimes of, like, the healing pastors, especially the ones on TV that knock people over and stuff. Like, it's hard. It's a hard pill for me. But the fact that you experienced it, and in your life, you saw the power of God heal the woman that you love. I mean, I can't imagine that would not change your faith. So at that point, are you like, all right, Lord, you win?
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, okay, I'm Christian. I got rid of all my New Age stuff. I got rid of all of it and have been digging into the Word ever since.
On the way home, he's like, and Lord, I've also been meaning to talk to you about the lottery. You're doing some pretty good work here.
Yeah, I tried that. Didn't work.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting WFM. This here is the Wally Show. A little bit of good news. Giddy up. A couple rapid fire good news stories coming at you. Designed to make you feel better about the world we live in, because there's enough animosity and tension, if you will. Gavin, let's start with you. Good news, giddy up, go.
There was a 45-year-old high school coach who had a heart attack.
45?
Collapsed at a soccer game, but he survived after multiple people sprung into action. You have the other team's coach sprinted on to help him. That's a
nice.
Good steward or good camaraderie there. And then 3 people who knew CPR started working on him, while others ran to grab an AED machine from the school. They used it to shock him 3 times.
Whoa.
He came to about 10 minutes later after he had collapsed. He was in the hospital for a week, but he's home now with his family.
Wow.
And he's recovering.
That's amazing. And they sent one kid, like, go get the AED machine. The kid comes back with a stapler. Because kids aren't always the best in a crisis. Betty Lou, good news, giddy up, go.
Well, you always see those mall walkers. It's the senior citizens.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's one in Portland, Oregon I'm going to support. They're in the news for blending exercise with nostalgia. They dress up in 80s gear and go on long walks at the mall. The group is called Food Court 5000.
Although it's the 1880s. Because they're that old. Oh, that's awesome. And finally, there's a kid on Long Island named Will. He's in the news after he launched his own burger stand. And it's like smash burgers. And lets veterans eat for free. It's called Will Smash Burgers, and he does a portion of the profits which go to veteran-related charities.
Aww.
Which, I mean, that's really great. I 100% support that. I think it's awesome. But this is where I have some audio where you're like, he's still a 16-year-old kid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is so good.
Hey, I'm Will from Will Smash Burgers. We're here serving up smash burgers at Center Guts. 10% of the profits support veterans' mental health. And with each bag and each order, we handwrite personal feel-good notes, such as "Have a great day" or something like "You've conquered 100% of your hard days."
I love that. So just have a great day. Just put that in there, make you feel better. You've conquered 100% of your hard days. Nothing could be further from the truth, Will. I got a lot more hard days coming up, but thank you for your inspiration, young 16-year-old.
Yeah, he's trying. And I mean, listen, it comes from a good place.
100%, but that's why I'm like, it's still a kid. And what I mean by that is still optimistic, wide-eyed, and hopeful about the future.
Word.
So
It's
there you
good
go.
news, giddy up.
And it is giddied up out of here.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.